alive! It's alive! It's alive!
Hey guys, welcome to the Weird Kid Show. My name's Dave, and I will be your host for this evening. So it's the moment of truth for our friend Frankie here. This is part 3 of the Frankenstein Display build. Quick recap. If you want, you can go back and watch episodes 1 through now. But if you want to go even further back, there is a video over there where I paint this. It's my original Frankenstein sculpt. It's been molded and poured in latex, and I painted this thing up and put the hair, designed the custom bolts that are attached to his head, and decided, you know what, I want to build a whole display built around Frankenstein, okay? And I got a loose idea in my head of what I want to do, but I'm totally making this stuff up as we go along, ladies and gentlemen. This is being made and designed and engineered and built pretty much in real time. So what am I doing? I have no clue, but I'm doing it. The train's moving, leaving the station. Come on board and watch the madness. So yes, recap. I painted the mask, and then I showed you how I made an armature for the body, and then I kind of explained how I filled it out with couch foam, just free foam. I got some pool noodles for the arms, some batten to kind of build up some muscle structure. And so now all of this is going to be covered. Alright, so I wanted to kind of get a little bit of, you know, to have it be a little bit anatomically correct. Not so much so where it has to be precise. Unless it was a nude figure, then we'd have to be spot on. But in this case, it's gonna have some baggy clothes on it, so we can cheat this a little bit, all right? But one thing I couldn't cheat is the neck, okay? There's no way around that. It had to be dealt with in one form or another, because he has an undershirt, and then he's gonna have a tunic, but the neck would be exposed, and left to its own devices, it would just be bland duct tape, and that's just not gonna fly. So I did the latex work with a shop towel. If you haven't checked that out, that's episode 2. That's what I did last week. And then I did some little extra design work here, details like the stitching and stuff like that. One of the other options that I was gonna do was to wrap it with like bandages and stuff, which I'm gonna utilize that bandaging here in this build, but that's gonna be later. So today, now, we need to get Frankenstein dressed. One of the things I always loved was the Ghost of Frankenstein, the old Universal horror classic, Ghost of Frankenstein, where Frankenstein in that is wearing that, like, I don't know, kind of looks like it could be a sheep or something, but it's a fur tunic. The primitive look of that fur tunic, I absolutely love it, and I want to inject that into this. Okay, so I got me some synthetic fur. I love this color. I think it's going to be perfect for him. Alright, but I can't do that first, because the first thing I need to deal with is the undershirt. Now I could have gone either direction. I could have gone with the, I guess the proper term for the color of Frankenstein's shirt is OD green, which is also a military green. I thought about going that route and having that, but I don't know. Like I said, I'm going for something a little bit more original, so I decided I want to go with black, alright? So what we're going to see of this black shirt is simply enough going to be around here, around the neckline, alright? And then the sleeves. Okay, and that's it. So because of that, we can cut this up. Alright, now, traditionally, if I attach this firmly down here at the base, the arms, then it would be a difficult time to try to, you know, I'd have to cut the lengths of the sleeves and then attach them or sew them or whatever back together, because there's no other way of putting them on. But I've got a little bit of lee room under here. I left it loose on purpose so that I can wiggle and finagle the sleeves up over the shoulders, and then this will be fixed in place last, okay? So now what we're going to do today is simply get him dressed. And I've already got an idea of what I want to do as far as the final details, which I think I'm going to do a whole video on that, because we're going to get him dressed. I think he's going to look good, but the whole icing on the cake and for the finale, the finesse, the creme de la creme, the icing on the cake, I think I already said that, is when we do the weathering and final details. That's when he's going to become to life. That's when he's going to be alive. I'm going to be able to say, it's alive. All right, so just getting him dressed today. We're not going to be messing with anything else. All right, so I got a shirt there. Basically, all I need to do is start cutting and everything. So we're going to get into this thing, guys. Excuse my rambling, but I'm super excited and definitely looking forward to this one. So anyways, check this out. So I cut this and just draped it over. And then this here, I had to pull the arm out a little bit. And I'm going to show you right now. I didn't glue the fitting inside, and it was for this purpose. So I just bundle this up, slide it up underneath. So I get it on there. Till I get it on there. Till I get it on there. And then I push it back. Alright, on that tape it just gets sucked right back in. And then just pull it up. Now I cut. Don't cut at the seam. Cut up past it, okay? So you can tack it. Alright? As you can see, I didn't go crazy with anatomy, but from what I did do, it's subtle. And you can see where, you know, the bicep would potentially end. You know, and I beveled it a little bit, shaved the pull noodles down a little bit, so that it'll start to look like it's turning into the, you know, forearms and wrist. So that's a good. I'm happy with that. All right, so now attaching it. I'm going to use some clear silicone. This stuff is amazing. It'll dry. Once it dries, it's nearly impossible to rip it apart, especially material. I think you're going to end up ripping the material first. Now, what I want to do is I don't want to put glue around here, around this edging. Okay, I want to glue down here. And the reason being is because I think I want to add some detail to this collar, if you will, this neck piece, all right, to make it more weathered and more primitive looking. All right, that's going to be part of the detailing video. So you might want to do that. So I'm going to attach it here. It's not going to go nowhere. And then I'm going to take the sleeves and I'm going to be pulling it up tight and gluing it. And I might even put like a tack just to hold it in place for a while until that silicone takes hold. Alright, make sure everything's smoothed out. And then we're going to start with the tunic. Alright, so I'm going to get this glued and then we're going to jump on that tunic. Alright, so it's all glued. I put some glue. What I actually did was I pulled the sleeves down, I took this off, and then I just squirted the silicone glue all over the shoulders and in the front and on the sides, but I still kept a good distance away from the collar. That way I have room to work on it for the weathering and detailing and stuff. And as you can see, I pulled it down so that we can see our stitches, see that his head was sewn on. And so now it's ready for the fur tunic. Okay, so I bought 2 yards of this. All right, and I actually believe that I'm going to get away with 1 yard for this project. Okay. Now, I don't know if any of you have ever worked with synthetic fur. It's temperamental. There's things you can and can't do with it. Alright, so if you're new to working with synthetic fur, this is a big key point. Alright, you can't cut this with scissors. And I'll show you why. I got this scrap piece, I don't need it. So I'm going to take some scissors and I say I want to cut it there. Alright. So what happens is this is what you end up with. Okay? Waste. This is no good. Not only that, we've got it just doesn't look good, you know, and I've lost all this hair. Alright? So the way to cut this is you need a razor knife, okay? Measure, if you want to measure out a pattern, do it on the back and then use a razor knife. So I'm going to do a cut across here. It cuts really easy, okay? Now I've not lost anything, and I still have a natural looking edge where I cut it, so I didn't lose anything. Okay, that's what you want. That's why you want to cut it from the back. Never cut it with scissors, okay? So now that that's out of the way, a tunic. So basically, what is it going to be? It's going to be this, okay? Simple. Cut a half circle for the neck, and I'm going to cut half circles for the arms that bevel down. But I'm going to show you the first thing that I do is cut that neck hole, okay? And I'll show you. We're dealing with one side at a time, okay? And we're doing this without a sewing machine, okay? So here is one half. That's not the half I need. Here is my first half. Okay, and what I did was I held it up against the neck and then just kind of roughly measured and cut a little notch, and then I just cut a big circle. Don't worry about how big the circle is, as long as you don't cut so much that you're going to lose down here. Make sure there's enough to go past where the bottom is, okay? Leave yourself excess. Alright, so you're going to take this and you're just going to position it about here. This is where I like it, okay? I can come down further if I want to. In fact, I might come there. Alright, so we can see that it has an undershirt on, alright? That's where I want it to be. Okay, so on the sides, what I'm going to do is, you could probably take pins and stick them in there to hold it. But basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to find that center and I'm going to fold it over like that, and I'm going to hot glue that in place. Okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to take my razor knife and cut around the arm, but I'm going to leave a lot on the sides. Underneath the armpit, I'm going to leave a lot this way, because then I'm going to go ahead and fold it again at that point. Okay? So I'm going to work on that, and then I'll come back and we'll have a look at it. So thanks for sticking around, guys. Frank's almost dressed. Alright guys, and this is what we have. This is what we ended up with. Alright, now what I did was I put in some upholstery tacks when I found the position after the hole was cut, and I wanted to start here. Don't trust laying it there, because it's going to slide and shift and you're going to get off kilter. So what I do is, you can put pins, or in my case I just use upholstery tacks to tack it in place before I glued it on the seams. So you can't even really see the seams there, but it is two pieces, and I went by the center of the shoulders. Okay, just like a regular article of clothing. Alright, and then I cut it in here and went down the side. Now there was a spot over here where I messed up a little bit, and I cut too close, so it left a little bit of gap. that's fine because you've got a lot of extra material left over. You can cut a little sliver and glue it in place, and when you pull down the strands, you can't even tell. The fur just, that's one thing that's great about working with fur, is that you know, you can hide a lot. Alright, so one of the things you're going to find when you work with fur is that you're going to have little dust bunnies everywhere, little fur everywhere, especially on here. So what I'm doing is I took some duct tape and turned it inside out, and I'm just picking up all that extra fur, cleaning our man up here a little bit. Alright, and so, moment of truth. Get Frankie's head on there. I gotta fiddle with it a bit. Yep. So anyways, I gotta mess with that to position it correctly, but that's where we're heading, guys. I'm pleased, I like it, but this is the basic. Okay, we're not into it yet. I think he needs a belt. I think he needs some like primitive sewing around here. We need to weather his tunic. We need to weather his shirt. Maybe give it a few tears, and who knows, maybe underneath the tears we're going to do some more paper towel and latex work to see additional stitches and scarring or whatever. See, now we can, the basics are done. Now the fun really begins. This is my favorite part, when you start getting into the detail, weathering and stuff like that, because that's where you take something might be cool, but it's a bit you know, it's still a bit bland, to the next level where it really pops, and that's what we're going to do. However, we're going to do it, that's right, next week. Okay, so come back next week and watch me, possibly the conclusion of the Frankenstein, not the whole series of the display, but there might be a while before I get back onto that portion of it, because that's going to be a whole separate entity within itself. Alright, but he's going to be included in that display, so please, if you're interested in this, you like what you see, hit the subscribe button, like and subscribe, so that you get notified. Definitely hit the bell, so you get notified when I upload future videos, and there's so much more to come. While you're at it, check out my brothers Keith from Cobwebs and Candlesticks and Vic Springston from Monster Misfits. Together we make up the trio of terror. Anyways, guys, I hope you like him. I hope you find this helpful. And until next time, I appreciate you so much. Peace.